There's a low blow and a Hulk bottom, which gets a slow 2
What's a
counts.
Hulk bottom?
Brutus.
Hello and welcome back to the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are Better Call Creative, and as ever I am joined to my left by the dream team of Big Daddy himself. It's Jack Chen. Hello. And sorry Sam, but that means you're Bobby Ryan. Bobby Ryan, Sam Chen.
Hello.
And I'm your host, Mal Kirk, the evil, bald, chubby man.
Was he the bald one?
He was, yeah.
Oh,
he was
he's the one who he killed.
He killed him.
He's the one who did the splash on him.
Oh, and then he just...
And he actually killed him.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, Malkir. That's why he ran off.
That's the debate. I would have run off then. I don't want to die.
Did he have a heart attack or something? That's what they said or something.
Wow. Well, what a somber way to start a birthday episode, eh? But yes, it is a birthday episode. It is Jack's birthday. How old are you today, Jack?
31.
31. Happy 31st birthday, Jack.
Say it, sir. Happy birthday.
And as ever, on our birthday episodes, Jack has all the power today. But what we are doing this year is we are going through the decades with Jack Chance. He has his own time machine, which has the March busted, so you can't change the March element of it.
You can only go to March.
You can only go to March.
For those 31 days, that's it.
We'll be traversing 6 decades of wrestling, and Jack will be coming up with a card featuring 6 matches. Have you enjoyed the power of the
time machine?
Of the time machine?
I have.
Yes.
Of course I have.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Well, it would have been stupid.
We would have chose a load of shit.
But today, being the 6th of March, obviously we've revisited what happened on the 6th of March, on your birthday. But do you know who was born on the 6th of March?
Val.
Well, we've got Frankie Howard.
Frankie Howard.
You know Frankie Howard.
Yeah.
Kiki D. Don't go breaking her. Alan Davis.
So you could say Al Dandy.
Who are you to doubt Al Dandy? Alan Davis from QI fame. Shaq.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shaq.
And Kevin Prince Boateng.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
the best one.
This is the ultimate Survivor Series team at the moment.
Yeah, what a team.
And Mr. Kennedy
Yeah, I knew Ken.
and David Flair.
David Flair was born on the 6th as well.
Yeah. It was a sad day for Ric Flair, least favourite child. And also there was
David Flair.
we have to look at the other side of the coin. Famous deaths.
Oh.
Do you know that there was a lot of people died on March the 6th because it was the Battle of the Alamo?
Alamo.
Yeah, so a lot of people died there. George Formby, he died. Yeah.
On my birthday.
Yeah.
In 92.
No.
I'm going to say, 'cause if it was 92, is he the reincarnation of
George Foreman.
George Foreman?
But someone who is near and dear to your heart did pass away from this earth on the 6th of March, and that was Hercules.
Oh,
That was 2003.
don't
Yeah.
tell me that.
Big-
I didn't know that.
Big Herc passed away on the
My
6th.
boy.
So that for future birthdays will be ruined.
Yeah, actually, I'm changing.
I don't want him
No,
on mine.
no,
well, I have to look forward to that.
no longer celebrating my birth. It's remembering Hercules.
Yeah. We should always do a Remembering Hercules podcast on the
Yeah.
6th of March from now on. But Jack,
Forget
yes.
your
Remember the Herc.
Jack, you're going to have the power to order this time machine.
Order!
As you choose. So, what decade are we heading for first?
we'll head to the 20s, the 2020s, not the 1920s. That would be a strange
We're
match.
only going back then a few
3
years. But we have, by going back, eradicated COVID.
Now,
Or certainly we
just about-
eradicated the lockdown element of
it was
COVID.
about to happen.
Yes, yeah.
This
This,
happening.
was this literally the last show, or did they have a Raw after
I
this?
think they had a Raw and a SmackDown, and then that was it.
Yeah,
Because
they
it
had
was
a Raw because AJ did the promo on
Taker.
Taker. Then they had a SmackDown, and then
It was.
I don't think they had a SmackDown. I think they had a Raw. and
It
that
was
it.
around St Patrick's Day, which is the couple of weeks after, right?
The
So like
week
around the
bef-
17th
on my
of March.
birthday was a SmackDown, and they had the NWO come out and Braun interacted. With
That's when
them.
we was in Manchester, Walrus.
Yeah,
Right.
and then they had a Raw where AJ cut promo on Taker, and then there was nothing forever.
Yeah, nothing happened until Vince
Money in
came
the
up.
bank.
Until Vince found an egg.
Oh god.
Oh God, we'll be back.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate the Rock. Is he here now?
We
Pizza!
We got an egg though.
We got an egg and pizza.
So, the match that we are checking out from Elimination Chamber 2020 is the match that opened the show, and it is a weird time. It does beg the question what would have happened, because like there's a lot of people on this card that by the end of the year are not really with the company.
No.
But you've got Aleister Black in a featured match. Obviously, the opener is a weird choice for a Vince match.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So yeah, it is strange. Michael Cole tells us this is the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania and the final one before the world will stop. Daniel Bryan is in our opening match, and he is out as Cole almost immediately moves us on from this match, building other matches that are going on. So it does feel like this is a kind of thrown together match, but there is a bit of backstory and build to it.
Yes.
His opponent for the evening is Drew Gulak, who has been training up a load of jobbers in matches against Bryan.
Yeah.
Bryan's just returned after getting beaten down by the Fiend.
At Rumble, or that
Yeah.
was a strap match, or is
It's
it?
when he
strap
returned
match,
with his no beard and
Yeah,
hair.
it's got his hair and everything.
ROH Bryan.
yeah. It was basically built. This match was built in a backstage challenge on the SmackDown before the show.
The week before.
Brilliant. Carl sends us to the Spanish announce table, and we are off. Drew schools Bryan early on with wrist locks and his shoulder tackle. Bryan escapes a head scissors into a half crab, but that is reversed. Both men drop heel shots on each other as the aggression starts to build, and the story we're being told is that Bryan constantly has to regroup because he can't get the better of Drew. In fact, every offense he tries to put on him is put on him by Drew.
It's a weird dynamic to begin when he has been world champion recently, and Drew Gulak has never done anything.
That is very true. He actually has to go outside to regroup, which kind of takes the crowd a little bit with him. He's like, what the fuck? Bryan grounds Gulak and sets up a surfboard with a face claw, but again it's broken, and Gulak counters with his own surfboard. Again, the story continues. Bryan tries to get something done, and it gets done to him, so he says fuck it, and he kicks Gulak in the thigh. The next time he gets caught and he's slapped, there's a dragon screw to the knee. I do love the spot when he when the handstand by Bryan is reversed into a little pile.
The little tiny pile.
It's amazing.
That's how you can get away with the pile.
It's the safest, but it did, yeah. There's a neck lift and a spin, and Gulak gets a 2. There's a nice suplex spot as Bryan suplexes Gulak to the outside, but Gulak holds on, so Bryan follows him out. Bryan lays in stiff kicks, but he's hit with a Saito-style suplex as Cole puts over the neck problems of Bryan, and that's good acting as well, because he starts tapping his fingers and things like that. Bryan eventually reverses a full Nelson into his own, and he ends with a dragon suplex, but only for a 2. Bryan looks like he's suffering after a German. The next German, which is the release one, was very stiff, and he basically bounced off his head.
Well, I think he was trying to rotate
Take
fully
fully,
onto his stomach, but he just
He
landed
never
on
did.
his head.
Yeah, and they show it a couple of times, and he does look at
Yeah,
a bit of a stiff one.
he's lucky.
He rolls outside, but does manage to make the 10. He desperately starts to rally. So he's running clothesline, hits the yes kicks in the corner, but Gulak slips out and crotches Bryan on the top. He hits an inverted superplex and locks in a dragon sleeper. Bryan survives, reverses it into the yes lock, and Gulak passes out rather than tapping out. And the match is over. And in fairness to Bryan, I think he's trying to do Gulak a favour by legitimising him after the match and asking the crowd to cheer for him and stuff.
Give him a clap.
Yeah, Jack, I mean, we might as well open with you as you picked it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you hated that
Worst match. Who booked this?
Destroy that time machine.
I loved it. It's amazing. It's something that WWE hadn't really done a lot of, the real mat-based hold-for-hold escape.
Yeah.
It made Gulak look like a proper, legitimate threat to Bryan and a credible member of the roster. It didn't last very long, obviously.
No, of course.
But it felt like they was building him up. Bryan took a lot of stiff shots with the German suplex and all that sort of stuff. Maybe it would have been good if Drew got the win. I don't know, but because I don't really know, I can't remember what they did at Mania.
Did Bryan have a match at Mania?
In COVID Mania.
In COVID
I don't
Mania,
remember what they did.
Gulak didn't. Gulak just sort of disappeared a bit.
They sort of just became a team, and then they did the soft shoulder thing, which Eugene Agata just took the piss out of. But it was a very good match. I enjoyed it. Very different to what you expect from WWE.
Yeah, so?
I liked it. I'm surprised by it, considering I don't think I saw it first.
Yeah, you would have watched it.
Probably not. But I really liked it. I do like Gulak,
Yeah.
to be honest. And I think this is what
He's
he needed.
such a-
But he did get released and then brought back there.
Yeah,
Contract ran out. That's probably why he wore on main baby's contract.
He is
Oh,
just
okay.
such an NWA kind of man
Yeah.
for you as well,
Yeah.
really. I mean,
But he-
eventually I feel you might see him on your
Oh,
NWA
yeah.
product. Like,
Probably. But he's an
He's an
agent
team
now.
or something.
He's in NXT.
He turned,
We saw
turned
it.
recently
He's
again, didn't
with
he?
Regal's kid
Yeah.
as a team now.
Regal's kid. Is it Regal's son?
Yeah, Charlie Dempsey is you.
Oh, I saw that.
That's
I
why,
saw that turn. I watched it after this, but I didn't realise that Charlie Dent, because I don't know half of them people.
That's why Regal managed to leave AEW to now want to go and coach me.
I liked it because I watched it. I saw the turn. The next thing was that big Von Wagner bloke, and I thought, he's a boy. Look at the state of him.
Is what's his
Throw it
name?
a bit.
Is it Bo's son or
Yeah,
Blake's?
both.
Bo.
Yeah, Bo or Blake.
It is. It's Bo Beverly's obviously the worst of the Beverleys.
Not Mikey.
I chose him in the time machine.
The worst of it is, I mean, I don't think that there was ever any plan to really build a proper feud on the back of this. But who knows what might have happened without the pandemic. I thought, if you're going to do mat work, it's always difficult to do a proper mat-based wrestling match. You've got to do it like this, where it's proper story behind it. And I thought it was done extremely well. And maybe I don't know how old Gulak is. Maybe that's what put him off, because he's a tiny bit taller than Bryan. He's built enough to be like a legitimate wrestler. I'm surprised that they never did more with Gulak, because he's good on the mic as well.
Well, I think
he's much
He did
better
the
than...
old, was it the PowerPoint thing on
the
205?
205 live room was amazing.
Where the no fly.
He's brilliant on the mic. He works big, so I
Yeah.
think you can put him in even with a bloke who's bigger, and he still looks
Yeah.
big enough, like a Finley does and everything.
He's
So
your
I'm
range.
surprised that they never had him as a mid-card solid. Put him with him, and he can make anybody look good.
Yeah.
Same age as you.
Gulak
Born in
is...
87, yeah.
So yeah, that old.
No, he's not that old, no. But I mean, there's
I
more
thought he was
money
in his 40s, to be
More
honest.
like in Brighton.
There's more money in me than Gulak. I mean, you definitely have me as a world champion. Jack, then, jump back into that time machine, send us to match 2.
Talking of more money,
Here we go.
let's go all the way back to the 3rd of March 1979.
Oh, yes.
ITV Wrestling.
We're landing in the dangerous town
Was this in Hull?
of Oldham.
Oldham.
Here we are. Hold on to your hubcaps.
Yeah.
We are in Oldham.
Paul Scholes, CTR.
And as teased at the start of our podcast, we have the Dream Team. of the mum and dad's favourite is Big Daddy with little Bobby Ryan. I'll look after you, son, don't you?
God, he's so skinny.
When he does the press. That's brilliant. Versus the team of Judd Harris, who's a bit of a hairy bugger, with Mal Kirk, who obviously sadly passed away due to a splash in the ring by the sounds of things.
To jobbing.
But he's one ugly bastard. He's one of the uglies.
You had to have no body, either too skinny or too fat. And you had to be ugly to be a wrestler.
So yeah, I'll put the link on the page itself on our website. You can jump onto YouTube to check this tag team contest out, which was at the very least shown on ITV on the 3rd of March. It probably was recorded.
Yeah, it was probably in between the snooker and the darts results or something.
Yeah, what an amazing time to be alive.
Who was the presenter of World of Sport? I can see his
Dickie Davis.
Dickie Davis.
Yeah, not from a Big Daddy splash.
No.
So yeah, we get the refs checking out the heels as Kirk starts off with Big Daddy. There's a weak attempt at a bear hug, which leads to a splash. Judd Harris rushes Big Daddy with multiple belly bumps.
Yeah.
The heels moan as Daddy doesn't tag out. You need to get him to tag out. Not playing fair. Bobby Ryan is in. He does a drop kick and a monkey flip to Judd. He whips Harris into Daddy in the corner, which is just amazing. Just stands there and bounces off his belly. There's a sort of crucifix held by Ryan, but he's sent onto the mat and then he's press slammed by Judd. Bobby is a very little man and he takes a nice slam. Big Mal Kirk is in. He lays in shots. He's got quite the face as old Mal Kirk. He lays in elbows. He gives Judd the thumbs up. I didn't like that.
You're doing well, kid.
We are told it's elimination style, so I was thinking, oh, well, Bobby will get eliminated and then he'll run through
Big Daddy ain't going to get eliminated.
No, they did it in the UK by the same thing. I love the screaming elbow and then the screaming standing shout.
What a shame.
The crowd fucking love it, though. They absolutely love it.
It was the 70s. People were simpler back then. Look at the fat man with the belly by his knees.
He comes in a top hat. He must be a bloody lovely bloke. Bobby submits from this sort of chokehold, and the heels have the fall. Kojak Kirk, I should say, is Mal Kirk's nickname.
Yeah.
He's called Kojak Kirk. Because
He have a lollipop.
Well, he's bald, isn't he? So
all bald men are Kojak.
Kojak, apparently.
Kojak.
Yeah, there you go. Big Daddy must step out of the ring because Ryan has to start the fall, even though he's lost.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah. Exactly, you have to. So can Ryan survive? There's a big overhead club that sends him down for a standing 10. Ryan does survive the next standing choke. He powers out the grip of Kojak. There's nice heel work as the ref misses the tag, the old style, they distract. Kojak gets his first public warning from this.
Missed the public warning.
Do you? Stupid Harris.
What's the difference between a public and a private warning? Does he have to whisper it to you?
Come on then. Come on.
He's telling you again.
Warning you.
Stupid Harris comes in and he just barges Bobby into the corner for Daddy to tag in. He whips and struggles with a backdrop, but Harris is splashed and we are tied. We're told it's 9 minutes 20. It's not. It's about 8 minutes on the actual.
Don't lie to us.
Yeah, but okay. Mal Kirk and Big Daddy, they're ready for this. I mean, the crowd are building. It's like, you think you're special. The face off. Mal takes the whips and the splashes. There's a slow backdrop. And Kirk just thinks, fuck this, I'm off. And him and Judd walk off. Daddy holds Bobby Ryan up. Which
like
is
a little child.
Little tiny tit.
It's like Oz and Jushin Liger all over again. And Big Daddy and Bobby Ryan are announced.
You can just in the Titanic scene. You think he won.
Just brilliant.
I mean, Jack.
Big Daddy is amazing. I don't give a shit what anyone says. I know he only does a belly.
That's all he is. He's a belly with an head on.
Belly's going to get trapped. He's that.
He is.
But I love Big Daddy. He does the same. I've watched millions of his tag matches. They're all the same. Little tiny man. And then he just loses the first and then he'll win. But it's brilliant.
Yeah,
And the crowd loved it. Oldham loved Big Daddy. I loved it. I mean, it wouldn't work now, obviously.
Yeah.
Everybody would be losing their shit. -5 stars. 5 stars. And Bobby Ryan.
There's always the bit where he smacks him with a stool and
Yeah,
he gets awarded. He has to get awarded. Big Daddy, get one awarded.
I love the UK style wrestling anyway, but
Amazing.
Big Daddy, you needed someone like him because most of the matches in World of Sport was very technically based and
Johnny Sins.
Very sports-based.
very sports based, which is fine. And they were craftsmen, so they could sort of get a reaction. But when you've watched the same sort of mat wrestling with the same sort of formula, you do need a Big Daddy to just go in and go, eh? No, hook it out, yeah.
You did have Les Kelly, Les Kelly, the drunk man.
Yeah.
Brilliant, who hopefully will make an appearance in mine. What's his name? Giant Haystack, the big fat evil man.
Yeah,
He's the big fat good man. You got Kendo Nagasaki, he was sort of a mix of both. You got Cat Weasel, who was just a gruffy beggar.
We've got to probably do a homage to World of Sport.
We've got it.
But I loved it. I thought
There's an DVD up there.
We're going to have to do some sort of loving for World of Sport because, let's face it, we all love it.
It might be coming back soon.
I did again, but they ain't going to do it the same, haven't they? Because if they try and because the last time they did it, they made it very American style wrestling, didn't they?
Yeah, but you had Creighton.
Creighton?
The big fat bloke in the West.
He called Venom on the UK scene, but he called Creighton.
Oh.
Just a big fat bloke.
Because that's where they're saying Nick Aldis might be starting it with it. Because the end of it. So.
We'll see. Watch this space. Jack, get in that time machine where we're heading now.
We're going to now jump forward again. Oh, well, we've got to. To the 13th of March 2015 to a bit of a boy company for me, which is Impact Wrestling.
But all we're actually doing is we're going from Oldham down to Wembley Arena.
England again.
And it's the 13th of March 2015. It's a special time for Impact. They've sort of shed...
Oh, they were in the shit.
But they had shed a lot of the cack, hadn't they? Yeah. I think this is where they went. We tried that Hogan thing. He stole our money, and it is like when you have like Bury, they go out of existence, and Bury Town start, and then eventually they start building through the.
This was the time when they were about to hit the very troubled waters of GFW and Derek Gold.
Does that come in after?
That comes in after
2016.
This is like the last. I mean, you look at the crowd and how big it was in England. This was like the sort of end of this. The sun was setting.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the crowd.
Well,
and it had a good crowd here.
Oh, it was massive over here.
I'm surprised they didn't just think we're better off doing 6 months of tapings over here. They did do like
at one point, they did like a month and a half of all of it was always UK.
It just meant it would make sense.
Rumour or something. Again, Bruce Pritchard, not the most reliable, but obviously he worked for him at this point.
More reliable.
He was saying they was thinking about going to be a British company because now they're Canadian, either than based in Canada, or it was.
Well, I think that was still Nashville, but they do a lot in Canada.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing it like over here. Or that was something that they asked him, why not bring you here? I suppose in a way, if it's always over here, then it's going to dilute it anyway.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, there's no doubting that this is as good a reaction as they would have had in all of the year in 2015. And it's probably their last huge crowd that they've had.
Yeah, they had an arena like this for a long time.
So yes, the match then is Rockstar Spud versus EC3. Both of them come through the. What did they come through?
Well, EC3 come from the Fed because he was Derek Bateman.
Of course,
Rockstar Spud come through British Boot Camp, which we might cover at some point.
Yeah. But they are played off as if they were friends and tag teams.
They were a team. He was the manager of EC3 for a while.
With the Dixie Carter, were it when he was a heel? Because that's where Ethan Carter III, he was a kayfabe nephew.
Ah,
That's where it
right.
comes from.
Okay. So was Spud a heel in that?
He was a heel.
So-
He was the little weaselly bloke who could get the heat for
Yeah.
EC3.
So yes, Spud is out to his home country's crowd, and he gets a very, very big reaction. He's wearing an England sports jacket and does give a very rousing rendition of God
It's
Save
funny though,
the
half
Queen.
of the crew don't know the lyrics.
Yeah,
They don't know they cheated. For half of it, he was just like he normally is.
Yeah. But you think they would have at least rehearsed that little bit, like just get the words
I
right.
could have said, why don't they just play it over the,
Yeah, maybe.
I think it was good that it was organic. It just sort of happened
Built, yeah,
without it being false.
Why couldn't he sing some Birmingham thing like Motorhead or
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah. You couldn't.
Nah, that wore over then.
Keep right on to the end of the road.
What's a blues song?
That's the.
Oh, is that the Susie? Oh,
that's the
okay.
blues.
He's
Is he a Birmingham fan then?
He's from Birmingham,
Birmingham,
but I guess he'd be a Villa fan.
Yeah.
Looking at him, he looks like a
Probably
Villa fan.
Glad that he loses. EC3 is in contrast to this, a very cocky, arrogant heel. The stylisation of him looking back, almost looking over his shoulder, I thought that was really good. The ring walk.
Just trouble.
Trouble. I quite like EC3 though. I mean,
Not so much control your narrative.
he's probably a bit strange as a human being, but I think in ring,
It's bad, but
Yeah.
I think at this period, this was his peak.
I
Yeah.
agree, completely.
He found a character.
He was gaining at this point.
He's more going on about Steve Blackman and stuff with Daniel Bryan at NXT.
He has a cast on his arm as he almost stumbles. He's G'd himself up that much on the steel steps. Spud has a little bow tie as they do a little face-off, and you can feel the reaction. The crowd really care about this match. It is the main event, I assume.
Yeah, it's the main event.
There's big rallies as Josh does a nice job putting over how important this is to Spud to wrestle in Wembley Arena. We've got Josh and Taz.
Well, the Taz, I forgot that Taz was on commentary because I think he isn't there.
And they
He's done
splice
his-
him in.
and they just splice.
Yeah,
him.
it bugged me because I was thinking, is he?
Just bring it.
We get.
But it's really a good person.
it's like that, really. He must do it back home, and then they've just spliced it in.
I thought it was just Josh Matthews because Taz they just randomly come in.
Well, it ruins it. You might as well have just had both of them do it
Live.
back in
Yeah.
studio
Or do
whatever.
both in the.
When you have one live and one spliced in, Spud is really.
What do you think about that, Taz? That's what it should have been.
He should say, "Hey Cole."
Anybody get him back?
He lays in shots. He being Spud. Spud lays in shots on the outside and bites the forehead of EC3. He drop kicks him whilst he kicks on the. He has a kip, sorry, on the the red
chair.
barber's chair. EC3 lays in shots, but again Spud rallies only to eat a spinning lariat. We now get it must go to break, but we get the warning that graphic nature is ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And graphic it is. EC3 is dominant. He misses a charge though, and is hit with a massive molly go around from the top to the outside. Tyrus is out, sign of the times, and sorry Sam, I know he's your current champion, but it's Tyrus.
Just because he's the current champion of the only company I'm going to watch. Doesn't mean I like him. And he is actually going to defend the belt against EC3 at the next show.
We can but hope then.
Yeah.
He heals it up, hitting a big power bomb on Spud on the outside. Spud survives though and gets a huge pop. This brings out Ken Anderson. He's out to take out Tyrus.
God, will he? Piss off.
I forgot Ken got involved in this.
He just won't leave, will he? Why is he always appearing?
He was in every storyline, I think.
Yeah.
Go away,
He
Ken.
really was Mr. T anyway. He hits the mic check on Tyrus on the outside. EC3 takes him out and clocks Spud with his brace, busting him open, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of blood. Spud is sent round the ring post, and EC3 splashes him. JB is not happy seeing this, so I should caveat that JB is sitting on the outside. JB
With his bald head.
Yeah,
He looks weird, bald.
Yeah, he is bald. Yeah, he does look like when the referees suddenly become bald over the summer. Like you think, what happened to him?
He looks like
I don't remember.
He looks like a boiled tater.
Yeah, but I assume was he involved in the British
He was
boot camp?
involved in and he was involved in this feud.
Oh, as well.
Yeah, which is why he's bald.
And to be fair, you know,
It's like
it kind of plays off.
Shaved by Jeff Jarrett.
He's not happy seeing the graphic beatdown. EC3 shouts at JB as he beats down Spud in front of him. JB thinks, fuck this, and low blows him. There's a Spud stunner to EC3, but he can't make the 3 count. The screen periodically now goes from black and white to colour.
That made me laugh.
And
We're going to do what we can to stop the graphic now.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, nothing happened.
I think it might have been better if they'd have either just played it all in black and white, which to the people who are watching makes it like, ooh. Or don't do it at all, but doing it sort of, it just doesn't really do it.
Especially when the fact that they do it for a little bit and then they just sort of go all over.
Yeah.
We know what blood looks like.
EC3, it's a TKO. Spud has his head repeatedly dropped onto the mat, but starts to rally. He goes Hogan. He drops a U whilst tossing his bow tie. There's multiple forearms and jabs. Spud grabs Spud's, and hits a Pele kick. Again, the black and white and colour is pointless as EC3 blocks an acid drop, clocks Spud again with a cast. Again, another big near fall. EC3 drills Spud onto the mat. Looks sad about it. What is that move that he hits to drill him?
The 1%.
The 1%.
The Bulldog Driver, I think.
Yeah, the Bulldog Driver.
His phone's constantly on 1%.
He seems sad about it, which is good work, I think, by him. Because at this point, you almost feel like he's got that respect. He covers him for the win. EC3 then puts over Spud's effort after the bell, says Spud proved he belonged in Impact, and he's not going to shave his head. Spud sort of accepts a handshake. He said, before that, he says he proved that he is a lion, a tiger, a gazelle, and a man.
I don't get the gazelle. You've got worse.
EC3 offers his hand to be shaken. Spud reluctantly shakes it, but Swerve obviously clubs him down, hangs him in the corner, and shaves his bloody head to absolute nuclear heat. And that's the end of the show. Jack?
Well, I liked it, obviously. I think EC3 at this point, like I said, was at his peak. I think Rockstar Spud, it's difficult to go from here where you go for this character, but this was his peak as well. In Wembley, hot crowd, good match, all about the story. Got EC3 over as a nuclear heel.
Yeah.
He probably should have shaved more of his hair because he's still hanging
Possibly,
with a lot of hair left on his head.
Yeah.
But I like the image of him, pissing blood and upside down on the corner.
I think I don't like gratuitous blood, but
I think it worked here.
Yeah.
It felt this for me because I'm a big Impact boy. Obviously, this is like sort of the sunset, and then there's a lot of darkness for about 2 or 3 years of them not knowing what colour they have and what the name is for ages.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good TV for Impact Wrestling for what they did.
Yeah.
They never really hit things like this right. They usually fuck them up in some way. But this was brilliant.
So,
I like the match. I like the ending promo thing. I think that was just unnecessary. If you want to keep the heat, just have him do it anyway. Instead of saying he's a gazelle.
Yeah.
A gazelle.
When I heard that bit, I thought, what's this? I thought maybe that was going to finish it. And then I thought, I think I know he's going to just swerve here. And I thought, this is just unnecessary. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do to make him the monster heel he should be, really.
Well, for me, I thought, again, it probably sums up TNA because it was so story-driven. The match was by the numbers. They didn't do anything, over the top. They didn't give too much offence to Spud, nor did they have the beatdown go on too long. The story was perfect. It really, really worked. I didn't mind him sort of doing the swerve. It probably was just dumping a load of heat onto something. But it's just typical TNA where they had perfect in-ring work, perfect story, and then they still spoilt it with just a couple of poor decisions around production. The black and white thing I didn't like, and the commentary doesn't really work either. And even I'd go as far as to say, like you said, they could have just made sure that the shaver that they had was strong enough to take off a lot of hair.
I think that's the problem with all hair matches. There's never been one where they're just, except Vince's. But I think every other one. Well, angle and all, but you know, them usually always just left off.
What about Raven when James Mitchell just cut his head off?
I think that's the more scalp where he got scalped. I think that's more extreme. That is really.
It was extreme. I remember it. It's horrible. But yeah, I mean, as a match and an in-ring where, you know, if you was there, you'd have loved it. Watching it, it just is so TNA. They're just so close to being perfect, and they go fuck it up.
You nearly had it.
Yeah,
this is why I love them.
Yes,
never change.
So then, Jack, we're on to the back end of your card now, match 4.
We're now going to go back in time, obviously, to the 29th of March, 1987.
Oh yeah,
WrestleMania.
Whoa, whoa. WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania 3.
It's not Jim and the Midgets.
The Herc fought on it, didn't he? Did Herc fight on it?
Yes, he fought Billy Jack. Yeah. And that had blood.
I call her Billy Jack.
He's
got my name for a start.
Well, go on then. What all the good match was there on WrestleMania?
Coco Butch Reed.
There was this match, which happened after Coco beat Butch Reed, for the Intercontinental title, which was Randy Savage defending the title against Ricky Steamboat.
Yes, you might have heard about this. Before the match, Macho Man cuts a promo promising to put the Dragon out for good. He heads out to a decent crowd reaction, which even Gorilla has to reference that he's getting positive crowd reactions. It can't be long until he turns face, can it?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of months later. Or might be this, actually. So I think you don't really fight Steamboat after in any rematches. He does the promos wanting it, but he kind of just moves on.
The mini rings, I'd love to see them back. Just one mania, just do a little mini ring.
Or if you had like a long entrance at the Rumble, instead of having a little cart, have the little cart for the fat men.
They did one year.
Did they?
In 2017,
yeah. Braun and Big E and all them used it.
Right, but I mean,
they never shot it.
Oh, they never shot.
Yeah, but if you had them in the ring, in the little ring coming out, then you know.
I think they could bring it back for WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 40.
Yeah. Savage has been champ for over a year as we get Steamboat's last thoughts. He cuts a very short but sweet promo, basically saying it's his last opportunity. There will be one winner. Steamboat is out with his strange cornerman, George the Animal Steel.
He'd been feuding with Savage for the previous year.
Yeah, we saw the match at WrestleMania 2, which wasn't quite up to the par of this.
I enjoyed that match, but
I don't mind it too much, but it was just a strange show.
It wasn't quite this match, in fairness. But then again, who wants to see George Steele doing an arm drag? It does have a very big match feel. George has lost his top randomly as he heads to the corner. There's a bit of showmanship as Steele is out with Steele on the outside as Savage is arm dragged and he's hit with a standing chokehold, sending him to regroup. Jesse immediately suggests that this should be a DQ. I love Jesse Ventura. Oh, he's moaning about the ref.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's been having a good gorilla.
Yeah. Savage jumps Steamboat inside. He uses elbows and a face claw. Steamboat gets a chance as he works the arm with a lifting wrist lock and a drop down from the apron. Savage has to grab the hair and he catches Steamboat with an elbow, sending him over the top. Over the corner, actually, which is quite impressive. George barks at Savage as he drops an elbow on the throat of Steamboat. Hebner shouts at Steele, which he does a lot. Dave Hebner loves to shout, doesn't he? I can get over there, bastard! Steamboat is brought back in, and we get our first near fall after a knee drop. Steamboat recovers in the corner, ties up Savage in the ropes, and Jesse again bemoans this as a heel tactic, saying he should let him out the ropes. Steamboat hits a crossbody and a few more. I mean, his arm drags are so good.
Yeah.
He was doing them on Jericho.
Mr. Arm Drag.
He's got such a good arm drag. Yeah. He's caught on a bounce back into a knee lift, and Ricky skins the cat, but he's clotheslined to the outside. George helps him. There's a Pearl Harbor job. That's what Gorilla says as Savage knees Steamboat over the guardrail. Again, Steel helps Ricky make the ring, which Jesse fucking hates. Obviously, Steamboat is sent to the outside again. Savage drops his top rope axe handle. Crowd are really into it. The second axe handle this time on the inside, and Savage hits his running dusty elbow. His runny dusty elbow. Runny elbow. Savage hits his running guillotine, but again for near fall. Big suplex, but Steamboat won't stay down. The crowd pop for the comeback, which is fed nicely as Savage hits a gut wrench slam. Steamboat rolls through on a backdrop and backdrops Savage to the outside. Steamboat then hits a top rope tomahawk chop, and Savage gets his foot on the ropes. Savage scrambles but is beaten down. Steamboat hits a sunset flip again for a 2. There's just constant near falls now, which I think is pretty modern for this show. You won't get many near falls. So yeah, there's a lot of near falls. The crowd constantly think it's over. They think it's over most on a small package, but it's a 2. Slingshot on Savage, and again for a 2. Reversals, near falls. The crowd stay with them though. Savage sends Steamboat shoulder first into the post. There's a ref bump, which I'd completely forgot about. Savage clotheslines Steamboat and hits his Macho Man elbow, which does give Savage the visual win. Which I suppose makes sense for where he's going to go. You know, at least show that he could beat him. Savage grabs the belt. He goes up high, but Animal stops him. Savage initially kicks him. So Steel gets up, pushes him off the top rope. Steamboat then reverses a slam and gets a 3 on a roll. Jack?
Well, it's very good.
Yeah.
I think it's, in the history books, everybody already agrees that this is a very good match. It's probably the first match in the WWF sort of, this generation that it was in where the work rate and the IC title was the match to watch.
I think so, yeah.
It was the in-ring match to watch sort of thing, whereas Hogan was the pomp and circumstance. This was amazing. Bell to bell.
Yeah.
Worked together well, meshed together well. I think they only really had this match there. They never really worked together after.
No.
Or before. But it was brilliant.
So.
Yeah, it was. It's just brilliant, obviously. It was in like Jack said, really. It's a modern match in the 80s, really.
Yeah, I think the thing you've got is,
better than a lot of the modern matches in the 80s.
It didn't get a 5-star, which we'll talk about Meltzer at the end. But
did he give it Big Daddy?
And Al Snow will argue to his
yes, I know.
Yeah.
that the best match on the card was Hogan Andre,
because it
drew the money. But I think this is so important for the history of WWE in terms of making it more than just a cartoon promotion.
The big bloke slaying the monster.
And also legitimising the mid-card title, which lasted probably until the Attitude Era, where it's bastardised a bit. But
everything was there.
Yeah, and then the work rate went as well. But yeah, I thought it was a tremendous match. Exactly. I think you can see as well that they know that they've only got 15 minutes and they would have benefited from another 10 because they were rushing.
Yeah, they rushed a few bits.
Which is why there was so many near falls.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with WrestleMania is that you could have cut probably 8 of the matches on that card.
It's just what it was. I think it was till Mania 8 where they properly started to not put every single person on the show. I mean, look at WrestleMania 4.
Everybody got a pay.
We will be looking at WrestleMania 4.
Yeah, you had a tournament and a battle royal. Can't help.
Fuck me. So Jack, sub-main event time.
We're going to go forward 8 years to the 26th of March, 1995.
Yes.
Wrestle Queendom victory.
What?
Bull Nakano.
Disc 2.
Oh, Disc 2.
Because it's a Japanese show, it must go on for days.
Forever. God. Probably still had less matches than Mania 3. It's Bull Nakano versus Kyoko Inoue.
Yep.
We have seen before, haven't we?
We have seen both of these women in the women's division in 1993-95. But neither of them were in the company at the same time, were they? Because Bull had already got fired for...
Yeah, she come in around Survivor Series. They
Kyoku.
That's it.
The contrast between the two as well, the colours and the fucking the entrances.
What music they have over there?
It
don't fit.
I love it. I listen to Kyoki and Ui's theme after the thing because I love it. I think it's amazing.
I can't remember what it was, but it just sounds Japanese.
It's fucking amazing. Like I can't explain. I thought it's a band, and I thought I'm going to find out who it is and I'll put it in there. But it's not. It's just a piece of music that they created for the. It's fucking beautiful. And 1995, which we are in a couple of years' time doing a full deep dive on, the year of where wrestling fell off a cliff. But fair play to the Japanese and all Japan women. Fuck me, they've got it down. Like I
think Japan, you don't fall off their cliff. They carried on.
No. So it does feel very, very special. I love the entrance. Bull Nakano as well, even though she doesn't probably play heel enough for me. I don't. But then you have to respect the Japanese culture with wrestling. Yeah. But she feels like a monster. She feels like she's going to just beat the shit out of you. There's a nice handshake, and immediately Bull clobbers Kyoko with two stiff clotheslines. She's caught high though and blocks a superplex, and Jesus Christ, they both just fall outside on the red. And Bull literally falls on her head.
I know, I thought that.
Unbelievable. She'd definitely taken the sore one. She eats a diving back elbow from the railings, which is, I think, Kyoko's finishing maneuver. I think
the back elbow.
Does the diving back elbow. Kyoko gives herself a massive run up. I mean, fucking huge run up.
She doesn't run off, though. You've gone a bit too far.
For a big lariat into the ring apron. There's a surfboard style hold, but Bull won't give up the title that easy. I should caveat this that this is for the WWF women's title, which is mental.
Amazing. Imagine if Vince was there booking.
Well, it wouldn't have gone as long as it did.
Yeah, you're running up that ramp.
We go into a scorpion crosslock. I love that scorpion crosslock hold that Bull Nakano does. Kyoko is dumped on her arse and there's a chin lock. There's a big leg drop to the back and a pile driver. The offense is just so impactful. But again, Kyoko gets a babyface fire, but is knocked down, and a modified dragon sleeper is locked in. Kyoko struggles to breathe after staying in it and hits a drop kick to the belly welly. There's a nice throwback to earlier as Kyoko tries to do a springboard elbow, but he's caught in the Kikina clutch, which, I mean, it's just beautiful move.
Beautiful transition.
Kyoko reverses it, locks in a camel clutch. Kyoko hits a nice corner DDT, but doesn't go for the cover. Bull gets frustrated on a little bit of a botched spot. And there's again a lariat down on Kyoko. On a springboard. She gets lariat. Series of clotheslines as Kyoko she's hooked up on the top. And they just keep beating her and she just sort of drops in the end. There's a big power bomb, but Kyoko again manages to survive. The pace does look like it's just taking its toll because they have not stopped. We're about probably 10 minutes in, and they're absolutely fucked. But they just do not stop. Bull face plants out Anui, but can't get the three. There's a shin lock now, as she does rally, but she takes a nasty looking clothesline, not quite making the ropes, but then takes another one on the apron. There's vintage Orton DDT from the top rope. That's not enough. Kyoko ain't staying down. Top rope leg drop though from Bull. Also isn't enough because she kicks out at one. What the fuck? Fuck this. Bull says she goes up, but he's belly to belly off the top. There's just no stop in the match. Kyoko does a nice step up springboard elbow, then hits a beautiful German suplex. Challenger is on top now. Hits a sit-out powerbomb. Sam loves a sit-out powerbomb, I'm sure. There's so many near falls as Kyoko can't get the three on a head scissors roll. There's a big spike on a reverse powerbomb. Bull now hits a suicide dive. There's a slop drop. And the second leg drop. And again a kick out. Powerbomb though, set up. Kyoki again, sour spirit now, so it's the last knock-ins of the match. He's desperately trying to stop Bull. Keeps getting knocked down. Eventually, she's set up for the leg drop, and it goes nuclear. It does a special finishing maneuver, which has a somersault in it, and that is finally enough for Bull to retain the gold. Jack?
Well, you know, I obviously think it's very good. I love Bull Nakano anyway. Kyoko Inoue is a very good face. She plays her role very well, always in peril, but always felt like she had a chance. Bull's a monster, controls most of the match, but still shows the vulnerability enough to where you believe Kyoko's got enough to beat her.
Yeah.
The spots are very dangerous at times, falling off the top rope and all these sort of manoeuvres that they're doing. But I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I loved every second of it.
So. Yeah, I liked it. It was a typical Japanese match, to be honest, that went on.
No. Sam's got bored.
But I did say, my first comment is Sam might say that this had too many near falls.
I wouldn't say that too many near falls, because I knew what it was, really, you know, I can appreciate that. It's very stiff.
Yeah.
There's some bits where you said, oh God. But again, I appreciate what it was.
Yeah.
And I do like Bull Nakano and
Kyoko.
That's it. Thank you.
I thought it's probably as good as in ring as we've seen. In fact, I think it was the best in ring that we've seen, and that's saying something when we've just watched Steamboat and Savage.
Big Daddy.
Well, yeah, Big Daddy. I think because I think Bull Nakano is just so watchable. I do agree with you in some sense, Sam. I think the danger with this product is that I wonder if you did watch 6 hours of All Japan Women and then constantly watch the product over and over, how many times you can have this kind of match. This feels like the end of a feud match, and it might have been. I can't say that it's not. I think as a product, they're giving a lot. Like, you're getting your money's worth watching a Bull Nakano Kyoko Inoue match. But I don't really care because we ain't watching all of it. And for what we watched in isolation, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was legitimately looked like two women trying to win a wrestling match. You don't see that very often, but they're literally trying to win a match, which I think is the best compliment I can give them. And Bull Nakano, I mean, Jesus. I mean, you can understand why she retires about 5 years after this, because her body must be fucked.
That fucking leg drop.
Hey, you're a golfer.
Yeah, she went into golf, but yeah, tremendous.
Did you still have the air? Golf.
Absolutely tremendous. So what could possibly be topping that with your main event?
We now jump forward to the 17th of March 2002 to WrestleMania X8. 18.
Yeah.
For The Rock versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Fantastic. And probably one of the best WrestleManias of all time, you would say. You didn't pick Scott Hall versus Steve Austin.
No, we'll leave that to when we do NWO in the Fed.
Yes, which we will be back for. I mean, I'd watched. It's a piece of history, and you're literally watching a piece of history. So I thought I'll watch the package. The build is really, really good. It puts it over as just like era-defining. The match feels amazing, and I quite like the fact that it cuts immediately at the end of it into the NWO video. And the NWO black and white entrance. I'd forgot that Hogan come out to this. I thought he would have come out to Voodoo Child.
No, he don't have that till he split from it.
Oh, right. But it's nice to see the NWO. Well, it's nice to hear the NWO theme and not be sick of it by now as well.
Not like Rotundo.
At least I'm really stuck to the original three for a bit.
Yeah. The fans are loudly behind Hulk Hogan. JR tries to cover it, telling us that, it's a mixed crowd. I think by the end, you can't hide the fact that this ain't mixed.
For Hogan.
He also tells us, which is a nice fact, that over 500,000 people have watched WrestleManias live up to this point. So there you go. Hogan has headlined most of them as well. Some of them
9 or 10.
Awful.
Yeah. Towards the back end.
Yeah. And he hasn't headlined one since WrestleMania 9, which you can check out in our archives. Rock does get a decent reaction, but Toronto have decided their winner in this match. the reaction at the start, again, you just can't hide the fact that it's pro Hogan. At the very least, well, yeah, it's pro Hogan. The iconic face-off, and I don't know whether that was something they planned or whether when they saw the reaction they just felt it. But the slow look, which has people have tried to replicate that and force it, but this is organic. It just works so well. The hook up, Hulk pushes down Rock and poses for him, and fuck me, the crowd. But like no other.
Love that.
Rocky
push.
I'm saying, but Big Daddy does a belly flop, and Hogan does a push down to the pose.
More like a beach ball in the crowd as well. In the background.
There was hot.
They were red hot. Rocky sucks chance as he's knocked down a second time. Hogan calls Rock a meatball.
They really get that. The
meatball. You big meatball. As he hits his axe bomber. Rock lays a jumping clothesline to Booze and tells him to bring it. Hogan can't make the top rope on the Rock's punches. Rock kicks the face of Hogan and clotheslines him, teasing the Rock bottom, but it's blocked. There's a big elbow to the head of the Rock and a boot scrape on the forehead of the Rock. There's a strange cut. Did you see that where he sort of throws him into the corner and goes to boot him, and then the camera, I think he was expecting him to come out.
Yeah, he fucked the boot out.
Yeah, so they sort of cut it to him just sort of already there.
They do it again right after. They do it right.
Yeah. He has to jump him anyway. Rock hits a Luthes press, and I think the commentary team just struggle now to cover that this is a 50-50 crowd, because it's not. There's a backdrop and an abdominal stretch. Hogan gives Rock a few rakes, 10 punches, a bite, anything, desperately trying to get a heel reaction. It ain't working at all.
He did that when he was a face.
I was going to say that just Hogan.
His face moved.
Rock goes heel and starts chopping the chest of Hogan, but runs into a choke slam. Hogan chokes Rock, but again, there's just no booze. He tries the tape, no booze. Rock rallies, but he's tossed to the outside. He sets up the announce table, but Rock blocks it. Goes for a chair shot, but the referee stops it, and he's knocked down with a clothesline. There's a ref bump spot. Rock hits the spine on the pine, as JR calls it, and locks in the shooter. But even that, which is Bret's move in Toronto, gets booed. Hogan makes the ropes, but has to tap as Rock drags him back into the centre, which is, I think now Rock has just accepted on the heel in this match, so I'm going to have to do that. There's a low blow and a Hulk bottom. Which gets a slow 2 count.
A Hulk bottom?
Brutus.
Big belt shots now by Hulk, but Rock survives and hits the DDT. So Rock uses the belt, and this is where JR covers for the Rock, saying, some might not approve of it, but, he did it first.
Tough shit.
Yeah. Rock spits on the belt. He hits a rock bottom, and Hulk kicks out. Hulk gets a massive pop as he starts to Hulk up. The wild for Hulkamania. He hits a big boot, a leg drop, and a 2. JR calls that, and the call that JR says is the timing when he hits the thingy, and he says with that move is so perfect. Second big boot, and Hulk misses the leg drop, which is a throwback to WrestleMania 6 maybe. Rock bottom, and a third one. The People's Elbow gets the Rock what he wanted, which is a 3 count on the Hulk. Not sure he should have lost to the elbow, but
no, rock bottom would have been sufficient.
Yeah, but okay. Rock poses. Hulk looks hurt. Staggers. He looks like the old lion, except in his fate.
I love that.
Off his hand, he's shaking a little bit. Rock takes it. I think the acting is just tremendous by Hulk, because he makes himself.
A lot for the films.
Well, he makes it. That's the only bit of good acting he ever did.
We never said that in Santa. We lost.
But he makes himself look old.
I thought that.
Yeah.
I thought by the end of the match, because at the start I thought, God, you look really good.
Yeah.
And by the end, I remember you're dripping in sweat, and your eyes are here. And I
You're
thought,
streaking
old.
But I think, the broken old hunched over. It could have even been like he turned on Rock after it if he wanted to. But the fact that he really played up to I accept that,
passing of the torch.
Yeah. Nash and Hall are out. They attack Hulk for the handshake. Rock heads back. He lays in shots. Hall and Nash are dealt with. Hulk Rock stops Hulk leaving, makes him do the pose. I do think it would have been nice maybe to drop in Real America at this point, but maybe
they could have been in Canada. that was it.
Boom!
I think it'd have worked.
They've turned on him. Rock smiles.
Hey, Rocky.
He hugs Hulk
Rocky.
again. They leave together. But I tell you, one of the best bits of acting is just Rock, just seemingly dwelling on the reaction just at the end when he sort of leaves him and he looks down and he's sort of like, "What the fuck was that?" kind of thing. And I think where that leads within a year, I don't know whether Rock purposely did that. Or might have just been, circumstance, but that's just clever booking. That really.
Later in the year when he lost to Brock, because I was doing him then, and he cut a promo after the show, having a go at the fans.
Did he?
Yes, because then he come back as a Hollywood Rock. After, so.
Jack?
Amazing. It is, if you had to show a non-wrestling fan what wrestling is all about, I think you would probably choose this match.
Yeah.
I would, and say this is it. Because it's just amazing. It's a piece of art. It's pure theatre. It's got nothing to do with any move or anything like that. Because it don't matter, apart from when he misses the leg drop and you get the call of this. You've been hot to attack with that move.
The JR was...
I thought he hit it and pinned him and
kicked out, and that's what he said.
He beat the entire roster with that move.
He beat Hercules Hernandez with that move.
But as a piece of wrestling art, it is incredible. It is a 5-star match. I know it's not, according to a certain gristly man, but it is a 5-star match because it is perfect. And listen to the crowd.
Yeah.
Not one of them wasn't reacting. It was
everything
beautiful.
that they did, and you could argue they were thrown off by how the crowd reacted. It just goes to show how good the two of them was, because they managed to act out a wrestling match. That's exactly what they did. They acted out a wrestling match. Every little nuance of look, pose, acting, everything was perfect. It was just so good, and you can sit there and say he didn't do a tope suicida, he didn't do this, they bumped right here. I cannot for the life of me pick fault in that match. There was nothing that they did that they did wrong, and nothing that they didn't do that was missed. It was just so good. I can't think of a single better match that we've seen. And it's credit to both of them, because I just thought it was brilliant. And like I say, I love the acting at the end. Hogan's, won, even though he's lost. Yeah. But acceptance of the Rock. Rock's lost, even though he's won, because he's lost his people. It's just beautiful.
It is. There's so many avenues you can get.
Yeah.
And it should have
Scott
gone
Hall,
last.
he had big puffy hair.
I'm pissed.
On the game, it was X-Pac. Kevin Nash.
Yeah, so
it is just the perfect match, really.
Yeah.
And this is what wrestling is.
It is.
Not the moves, really. I mean, it is, but it's the story around it.
Yeah.
When you ain't got a story and it's just move after move, that story.
Yeah, that's always going to be the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
what's the story?
Yeah. I think to a certain extent you have got to be able to do. There is certain times where the story is strong, but they overdo it.
Yeah.
Case in point, probably The Fiend and Seth, where the story was strong enough.
Yeah.
But it was just done so poorly because they overkilled everything.
A lot of the stuff is like that nowadays. They don't know how to tell it, except the bloodline stuff, which is working. And even though Sammy Day win, sometimes it's good. Sometimes stories don't have to end happen.
Sometimes good. Sometimes maybe shit. I want to just end. I just want to end just by giving a bit of shit to Dave Meltzer, because he only rated 5 out of the 6. You can guess which match he obviously didn't give it a rating to. Which one do you reckon he gave the lowest score to out of the 5?
Out of the 5,
I think it was Hogan Rock.
EC3 Rockstar Spud.
It was Hogan versus Rock.
Was that the lowest?
Yeah, none of the others got below 4 1/4 stars. Hogan Rock got 3 stars.
3 stars.
3 stars.
That's fucking madness. What a fucking idiot. At that point, they should have gone, right, you're obviously useless.
He has no credibility. I'm sorry. He can't have any credibility if you're giving that 3 stars. Or you're just literally saying, I don't care about any story at all.
He just wants
I don't care what style you like. If you've got a passing interest in professional wrestling, that is good for anybody. Even if you like barbaric CZW, you'll watch that and go, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Theatre.
Don't get it. David Meltzer.
3 stars.
3 stars.
Yeah. We should do a podcast on things he rated higher than Robert Hogan. It's the best fucking Kamalas in the world.
Well, with round table, then it's going to be really hard. I think this is going to be really hard. Match of the show.
I'm going to go Rock Hogan. I just think he's amazing.
I think I'd have gone Rock Hogan.
I'm going to say Rock Hogan, but I really do like Bull versus Kyoko. But I mean, the story of Rock Hogan. If you had to shed a match, I'm not going to say worst match because none of them are terrible. If you had to shed a match,
I mean, it's got to be Big Daddy, but I love Big Daddy. But it is, in ring, it's probably the weakest. I mean, it's a big fat man who just belly bumps.
Would you shed it?
I would actually say the Spud EC3.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Because, again, like with the Nakano Inoue, that's it. That match, again, watching it, I understand what it was. Watching Big Daddy, you understand what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas the Spud EC3, it's impact, which said it all. And that promo at the end was very unnecessary.
I think I'll go with Big Daddy, just very, very slightly, but I think my next choice would have been...
Yeah, it would have been my next choice as well.
And EC3. MVP?
Hulk. Don't say that a lot.
Really,
a lot of people.
Hogan. Gotta be
I'm going to just say Gulak because I think, again, if I'm judging it as silly as it may seem on the scale we normally do, we've come out better than I thought they would. Drew Gulak to me felt a loss. I'm not even going to ask LVP because it just is pointless. But I think we should all give LVP.
Impact production.
I think we should all give LVP to David Meltzer for giving Rock versus Hogan 3 stars.
I can forgive a lot of his for what he likes, but when you give him that 3 stars,
stupid, absolutely.
Do you understand?
Utterly moronic. And I think that's the right way to end this episode. But we will be back for 2 more birthday podcasts, and I think, Sam, let's do a little bit of a teaser. Do you have one match that you want to spoil ahead of time that we're going to be checking out on your podcast?
Yes, going to the 2000s.
Oh,
it's the rematch from another match that didn't get 5 stars.
Oh dear.
Sean v Angle at Vengeance 2005.
Oh, what a shout! What a shout! Sean Angle, Vengeance, and didn't get 5 stars. Fuck Dave Meltzer.
It's the Mania match day. But I don't know if that match did either.
I don't think he did because I'm
Angle's
sure
never got a 5-star match.
Angle never got a 5-star match.
Nick Jackson's got about 25.
Well, Luke of the Bushwhackers has got one.
He's also got a boy. And Brett.
Enjoy that. So yeah, I'll be back in June, start of June, 7th of June to be precise. For Sam's podcast, birthday podcast, and we'll be checking out Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels. But that leads me to say from Big Daddy himself, I called you Big Dick the other one, and now it's Big Daddy. It's Big Daddy, Jack Chan.
Goodbye.
Sorry, Bobby, but from Bobby, Ryan, Jeff, Sam Chan.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, fellas.
Come back. Don't come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more.
Now, baby, listen, baby, don't treat me this way. I'll be back on my feet someday.
Don't care if you do, 'cause understood. You ain't got no money, you just ain't no good.
Well, I guess if you said so, I then have to pack my things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack.
Yeah,
Don't come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack.
yeah.
Don't come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more.
You must be joking.
Don't come back.
What you trying to do to me?
Don't come back.
Well, can't we talk it over?
Don't